This is a quick review of completing the square. You should have learned this in your Pre-Calc 1 class, but even if you did learn it in your Pre-Calc 1 class, there's a real good chance that you just don't remember because it's a very niche topic here. Um, so just a quick review of completing the square. In general, for the review I'm trying to do here, the goal is going to be to get it to be x plus or minus some number, quantity squared is equal to some other number. That's going to be our goal for this particular review. You take a quadratic that looks like this and you get it into this form here. And it should make sense why we would want this form based on what the equations of an ellipse look like, right? If we look at the equation of ellipse, they look like this, right? So we want something squared. That is going to be the end goal there. So the way that this works, you start with this guy here. The constant on the end here, we're going to move that to the other side immediately. Just don't want him there. And then once you've done that, you end up with 3x squared plus 24x equals negative 12. You are factoring out the coefficient on x squared from the x squared term and the 20 and the x term. So from both x terms. So I am factoring out a 3, and then I have x squared plus 8x is equal to negative 12. The next part is weird. So the idea here is that we need this to become something squared, which means there is going to need to be, if you think about what, ax plus a squared is, that's the same thing as x plus a times x plus a. If you FOIL this, you get x squared plus ax plus ax plus a squared, which is x squared plus 2ax plus a squared. So we want it to be a form like this, which means the inside part here needs to look like this. And we need a constant. We need a constant there. This number right here, we need it to be twice the number that ends up being here. So we need to find a way of figuring out what this number is. And here's just the shortcut on it. You are on the inside of these parentheses adding half of the coefficient on x. So this guy right here, let me boop, boop, boop. Half of the coefficient on x squared. Half the coefficient on x squared. So this is going to be 8 divided by 2 squared. So that's 4 squared, which is 16. I'm going to make this 16 red because we'll be using that. So if I do that, I have 3 times x squared plus 8x plus 16 equal to negative 12. If I just willy-nilly add 16 on the middle here, then I have changed the complete equation. I've unbalanced the equation. And you might say, awesome, Professor Cook, I will simply add 16 here. I got you, we're good. And the thing is, we haven't just added 16 to the left side. What we've really added is 3 times 16. So what you need to be doing is taking this outside, what letter, color, let's see. You need to take this outside number here, which I guess we could just make blue because we made it blue in a previous one. You can take the outside number here, and you're multiplying it by the 16. That's what you're adding to this side over here to make sure that all is equal. So this is going to be plus 3 times 16. So you have 3 times x squared plus 8x plus 16 is equal to, if you do that math, that's going to be negative 12 plus 48 right here. This is negative 12 plus 48. And that is 36. Now, this thing right here will factor, and it will factor into something nice. So this ends up factoring You can do the math, you know how to factor. You can do it without knowing this trick, but the trick is I said that this middle term here had to be twice what A ends up being. So if you want to put it into its factored form, you can take half of that number. So if you do half of 8, 8 divided by 2, you'll get 4. This is going to factor into x plus 4 quantity squared equal to 36. And as proof of that, x plus 4 times x plus 4, that's x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 4 squared is 16. X squared, 4x plus 4x is 8x plus 16. So this x plus 4 squared does factor, x squared plus 8x plus 16 does factor into x plus 4 squared. Last step here is dividing both sides by the number in front of that x to get it by itself. That is not as important here for what we're going to be using this skill for, but there you go. Last step we're going to do here. So it's x plus 4 quantity squared is equal to 12. And there it is. There's your completed square. So let's do one more example here without the steps written down. 9x squared minus 36x plus 11 equal to 0. We are moving the 11 to the other side, and then we are factoring out the number in front of x squared. So we have 9. Factoring it out from the x, 36 divided by 9 is 4, so minus 4x is equal to negative 11. 9x squared minus 4x. I'm going to highlight this number here. We're going to take negative 4, divide it in half, and square it. Negative 4 divided by 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is 4. So we are adding 4 on the inside here. It will always be a positive number, by the way, that you are adding. Maybe I'll make this number blue again. It'll always be a positive number that you're adding because it's a squared number. It was negative 11 on the right side, but we have now added 9 times 4. So we are going to add 9 times 4 to the right-hand side. So we have 9x squared minus 4x plus 4 is equal to negative 11 plus 36, which is 25. 2 steps at once. I'm going to divide both sides by 9 to get rid of the 9 out front. And then I'm going to factor this guy, and he's going to factor into x. Half of negative 4 is negative 2, so this will be x minus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 25 over 9. And there it is. All right, so we will be using this skill in the next video. I just wanted to quickly review it so that you weren't super confused when we went ahead and did that in the next video. All right, I'll see you then. Bye.